As promised, today we're going to talk about norms and values. I don't know. Did you check the video? Did a video pop up and you clicked it? If you did, then you're smart. Yo. Yeah, we're going to talk about norms and values. Next video, we're going to talk about social roles. After that, we're going to talk about types of culture. After that, we're going to talk about characteristics of culture, perspectives of culture, and a lot more. You should just subscribe, man. There's just a lot more content coming, and hopefully it's fun to digest. So let's just get into it. So we talked about culture, saying that culture means language, beliefs, shared customs, values, knowledge, skills, roles, and norms in society. It is the way of life of a group or a social group, yes, and society. So one important thing to understand is that culture is socially transmitted. It is passed through socializing with each other. And yeah, let's look at values. What are values? So values are basically the beliefs that we have about what is important both to us and both to society as a whole. For example, let's look at something biblical. This is not anything to endorse yours into Christianity, but yeah, well, that wouldn't be wrong, but this is just an example, right? Let's look at the 10 Commandments. People believe that breaking the 10 Commandments is wrong, and there are societies that believe that, there are some societies that don't, but then you see, that's an example of what is believed, to be important, and some of those beliefs are believed so that it becomes so large, and they become morals, so that's, when a belief is just basic, we can call it a value, right? And they become a moral when they're now held by a large group, a large society group, so I hope you understand that. So values, basically, they tell us what we believe to be right or wrong, but they don't tell us how we should behave in any given situation. Do you understand it? So they tell us what is wrong, what is right, but they don't really tell us how to behave in a situation, different situations, right? And you understand that this is actually the role that is played by norms, because values, they tell you what you should believe is right and wrong, but then norms now come in and they are like, okay, this is how you're supposed to behave. So yeah, so as I say, this is played by norms in the overstructure of social behavior. So norms are basically guidelines, right? Each value we hold has a number of associated ideas called norms, short for normative rules or normal rules, basically. They're expected, social accepted ways of behaving in any given situation, and they differ from individual to individual, society to society, so societies have their own different norms and what they believe. This you shouldn't do, this you should do, and culture is therefore it's sort of a combined effect of norms and values. It's a way of life, so it's a combined effect of norms and values. It's a way of life. So the types of norms: we have folklores, we have mores, and we have legal norms, which are laws, basically the policies that the government creates, so folkways are just like the weak kind of norms, like those weak norms that, it's just basically like I have a friend walking down the street, I'm like, what's up, bro? And they don't reply, so I'm now thinking, yo, maybe this homie doesn't like me anymore. That just sounds gay. Okay, let's say maybe, yeah, you reevaluate whether the person actually is with you, like maybe they gray tick you, they blue tick you. Shout out to people who don't use WhatsApp GP. Man, WhatsApp GP users are busy out here critiquing us, and they don't. Hey, now let's put that for another video. So that is folkways, fairly weak kind of norms, you know, and Moors are kind of like much more stronger norms, you know, and the failure to conform to them will just result in much stronger social response from the person or the people who are, you know, who hate that kind of behavior, you know, or hate your failure to conform to that, you know. So an example is like, I'm in class, right? The teacher is bugging, like the teacher is bugging yours, like, so I'm talking to someone trying to explain to them a point. The teacher's like, Tanaka, keep quiet. And I'm like, no, mind your own business. You know, that is very disrespectful, and that is an example of Moors. You know, they're kind of more serious. And yeah. So the last one is laws. These are legal norms. A law is an expression of a very strong moral normal that exists to control people's behaviors. The punishment for the legal norms would depend on the norm that has been broken and the culture in which the norm develops. So that's it on laws. So basically, yeah. So yeah, that's it on the whole video of values and norms. I hope that you understand that. Let's move on. While you're talking about culture, you have to understand these different things, for you to start talking about the types of culture, for you to start talking about, you know, basically, yes, the characteristics we move. So please subscribe, comment down below, and like.